it's Mike Adam. This is your Eye Opener Music Beat, and I am hanging out with TyDi, international DJ. How you doing, my friend?
Very good, thank you.
Good, good. Very good. We have to go over the name first. I know a lot of people call you TyDi, and you despise that. How'd you get the name? It's kind of interesting.
I don't despise it. It's just not. It's just not my name. The name TyDi was a nickname that I've had, and it was a name that I had back when I was like really young, and I just used it in a DJ competition because I couldn't think of anything better at the time. It was like last minute. We needed a DJ name, and I didn't want to use my real name, which is really lame. It's like Tyson Illingworth. It sounds posh. So I used TyDi, and I won the competition. So I just stuck. That name just stuck.
Very cool. And you've been DJing since you were like 16,
yeah.
Which is interesting because I feel like now there's a surge of EDM music, and then it wasn't kind of really the hip thing to be doing. So did you just get lucky? Or?
Yeah, I got extremely lucky. When I was DJing, it was like the nerdy thing to do. Everyone was out like surfing and skating, and I was this geeky, nerdy kid that like hung out in the music room at school, the kind of person that people would throw things at, you know. And then it's just like, it's like, haha, the tables have turned. EDM is cool now.
Tell me the first time that your parents came out to a show, because that was a really special moment for you, right?
Yeah, so my dad had, in my whole time DJing, my parents were kind of like, especially when I started out, like any parent would be, it's like saying to your parents, I want to be a famous singer, you know, that's like a real sketchy kind of thing.
Right.
And so my parents were a bit skeptical of the whole DJing thing, and my dad had never been to a show, even when my career took off. And just recently, New Year's Eve last year, he came to see me play for the very first time in Thailand, and I played to 40,000 people on the beach, and it was incredible. I took that up on the stage, and I was playing on this boat, and there's this like sea of people on the beach, and that was the first time Dad saw me play, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm proud of you." So it's pretty cool.
What made him come out to that show?
Because he lives in Thailand. And he could not miss that one.
Right.
Yeah.
You were like, "Listen, it's in your home. If you don't come out to this one,
it's New Year's Eve. Like, what else are you doing?"
Right. That's
Yeah.
crazy. And you think at that moment he really understood what you do and kind of what you've been working towards?
I think like over the years of like seeing like I'm sure he sees me on Facebook, he would have known a little bit about like, okay, he travels, he plays in clubs, like I've been to clubs when I was younger, but until he saw me play to like 40,000 people, it's like the equivalent of like a rock concert.
Right.
He didn't see the scale of it, so
Right.
I think he was pretty impressed.
Which do you prefer? Do you prefer playing in like a club or at an actual festival?
Both is cool. I like clubs. Like some shows I play to like 1,000 people in a club, and that can be really cool because it's quite intimate, and you can do a really long set, like a 3-hour set, and take people on a journey and be a bit different. But then the festivals are just this insane rush. You know, you've got 40, 50,000 people there. Fireworks are going off around you. It's just like, you know, really surreal. So both are great. You know, I get just as much fun, but it's a different kind of show.
Do you have to switch your set depending on if you're in the club or at a festival?
Yeah, I do sometimes. If it's a festival and there's a huge amount of people there, I often try to keep the energy a little higher, and if it's a shorter set, festival sets are often a little bit shorter, you know, you might only play for an hour and a half.
Okay.
So the people that are there to see me are often there to see my biggest tracks.
Gotcha.
So I try to work in the tracks that people really want to hear from me. The club sets where they can let me play for longer are the ones where I might play music that I'm just working on that's not released yet. So yeah, it does change.
I was going to ask you, because a lot of people don't know, aside from DJing, you also produce and you're a writer.
Yeah.
When you're in the clubs, if somebody comes up and they're like, I want to hear Justin Bieber and Big Sean, will you be like, no, get out of my DJ booth? Do you only play your own stuff? Or
often I do play like majority of my sets is my own stuff.
Okay.
It doesn't mean that I won't play like other people's tracks or edits and remixes, but I write so much music and I have so much music of my own, and it's just turned out that the fans that come to my shows come there because they want to hear me play my tracks. So
awesome.
But I have this thing, like if someone comes up to me, and often in a club, you know, you can't hear people, so they always request a track on their phone, and they always give me their phone. So if it's a terrible request, I just get their phone, and everyone saves mum in their phone as mum.
Yeah.
I just look for mum and then dial and wait till it's ringing and then hand it back with a big smile on my face. and watch them freak out.
That is awesome.
Because it's like 2 a.m. and they're wasted and they're talking to their mom.
Right. That's great. They're like, no, Mama, I swear I'm getting ready for bed right now.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Before we wrap up, dude, I want to know, what's one DJ that you look up to you've met that said to you, you know what? You're doing a great job. I'm a fan of yours.
Well, when I was from when I very first started, from when I'm 25 now, and from when I was like 15, 16, there was a producer by the name of BT. He's an American, incredible producer. He does soundtracks for movies, and he's one of these guys that's like not necessarily like mainstream, like, you know, Skrillex or something like that, but he's just his production is just insane. And I always looked up to him, and I always remember thinking, like, back then, if my music quality is the same level of quality as this guy, I can die happy. And just a few years ago, he actually reached out to me and he said, dude, can you do a remix for me? Because he was a fan of my music. So I was like, okay, I did this remix and made sure it was the best thing I could possibly do. And from that, we developed a relationship, and now we write tracks together, and, you know, I go around his joint. We've got 2 tracks coming out this year. So
wow.
That was cool.
Congratulations,
Thanks, man.
Awesome. TyDi, thanks so much for hanging out with us.
Cheers.
And, you know, much continued success in the future.
Thanks so much. Appreciate it.